In today's video, we will take a look at another 5 dumbest reports ever written on HackerOne. But the last report was actually reported to a quite silly program on HackerOne, so make sure to watch the video until the end. As always, we will discuss what went wrong on these reports, and sub to the channel would be a right thing to do. And if you want to learn hacking, then check out my course, link is in the description. So here, as promised, we have 5 different reports, so without further ado, let's get going. The first one says, during the security assessment of the application hosted at rubygames.org, it was discovered that sensitive file names.nsf is publicly accessible without proper authentication, and it's supposed to be protected by authentication mechanisms to ensure that the unauthorized users can't access it. And here's the steps you reproduce. You go to this URL, no authentication or authorization is required to access this file, which, in fairness to this hacker, that's absolutely true. As you can see, I can absolutely see these files. But the thing about it is, contents of this whole file just make absolutely zero sense to me. It is a big file, but I don't even know what this all means. But apparently, let's take a look at to see if it makes any sense further on. The bot says here, thank you for submitting the report, blah, blah, blah. And it was just closed as spam. Literally, no further, you just close as spam. Nothing else. And the hacker here says, can we disclose the report? I don't know why, but... And the Ruby Games staff says, Names is publicly documented part of the rubygames.org API. Disclosing spam report as requested. Hacker submitted this identical report multiple times. See, this makes sense. This is why, without any actually responding, they disclose it as spam. Hopefully disclosing this will help others avoid sending the same report twice, or even more times than twice, because it does affect your reputation. The point to take from this is, don't report two same reports twice. If it closed once as informational, if you report it again, probably it's going to get closed as spam. So that's it. The second report says big XSS vulnerability, and this is one of those silly ones. And the best part is that this hacker was banned for this report. Wow. And he says, here you can see that XSS, but which is openly redirectable. Please fix it and pay me bounty with 2 dots. And the legal robot staff says, nope, not without more info. And they were nice and says, needs more info. You know, they were like, what if there is actual vulnerability? And then he says, please pay me, my mom is sick, I need money. What? And he says, sorry, no, this is for legitimate bugs only, and it was closed as spam, of course. But he says, give me money with the mad emojis. Now, what we can take from this is nothing, apparently. Nothing. We can take nothing from this. Just don't be stupid. The next one is a bit of a silly one, I'd say, because email spoofing is just a title and says there is an email spoofing vulnerability. Steps you reproduce, you go to this website right here, you fill from email to, the admin aspen.io. Remember, this whole website is not related to Aspen. It's definitely not related, but it's apparently a vulnerability on aspen.io. And if you do that, you should receive an email from admin aspen.io. Now, I did visit this, and as you can see, it says fake mailer. And it says here an online fake mailer with attachments, blah, blah, blah. So I did try this, obviously, with 2 of my own emails, but it didn't work. Maybe the website is down. I don't know, but it just apparently didn't work. And I did figure out what happened. He did provide 2 pictures. And in one of the pictures, I saw that here is, as you can see, says Aspen in the name. But I think this is also part of the subject. I don't think this is the legit email because obviously it got closed as spam. Because this is not related to the platform. If it's not just related to the platform, it's a stupid issue that this person has reported, and it was closed as spam, and obviously it was disclosed publicly so that this would prevent others from reporting the similar issue in the future, because again, closing this as spam really affects your reputation on HackerOne. Now the next one, you probably could find similarities, because in the last video, you can find the last video in the top right corner of your page, I covered the exact same reporter who says, I am the bug in one of the reports. And now he does it again. He says, I am because bug. And let me read this to you so you can actually understand this better. In the accent of this hacker, apparently. I'm because a hacker found bug because I report this bug. I want to report a bug because want some money. So please, because you're telling me how much you pay money, so I give you bug. No joke. That's what's it's written. You can see quite with your own eyes. Me because very poor, sad crying face, won money because father, sad crying face, and that's his father. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know what the hell is this. Thank you, Vishu, because pay lots of money, with a lot of dollar signs. And he updated this to critical. Obviously, this immediately got closed as spam, and he didn't even hear from them. No, it's just because he actually did give it like a legitimate report. I did check this report out. It's actually a legitimate one. But other than that, this is utter nonsense. And for the final report, this was to report it to a bit of a questionable platform, sort of say. I'm not gonna like read out the name of this platform, I don't know. But it was reported to like a questionable platform, full stop. It says here open redirect. And it says, an open redirect vulnerability was discovered on the following website. This issue allows an attacker to modify URLs and redirect users to arbitrary external websites. Now this, again, could be an actual vulnerability until we take a look at the steps to reproduce. It says here, navigate to the following URL, inspect the page. Now, usually when you see inspect the page, this is where the red flags start like flickering because no, this is already not even an issue. Go to the attribute href, which takes you to the path, which is this path. I'm not even going to say that. And instead of that, put https://google.com. And then the browser would redirect the page to, oh my days. Oh my days. Oh my god. And even put recommendation. Let's take a look at the recommendation actually. The website should implement input validation for URLs provided in the redirection parameters, only allowing trusted domains or URLs. A whitelist of allowed domains should be enforced for redirection links to mitigate the risk of abuse. This is probably written by ChatGPT, given the fact that he misspelled attribute, but who am I to even say attribute? And the program's staff says, joke, question mark? And he closes spam. And he says, if you think that are the joke, obviously another proof that this whole was written with ChatGPT, if you think that are the joke, then we'll disclose this report publicly. Publicly, ladies and gentlemen, publicly. Nah, probably shouldn't make fun of him for misspelling publicly because I used to say applicable, not applicable, which someone in the comments pointed out. So I'm sorry for that. I probably should make fun of him, but I will make fun of him for how stupid this report was. And I'm glad he actually got closed as spam because this would have been closed informative on any day. But thankfully, these people were like, nah, hell nah, I'm not dealing with this. So thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay responsible, and as always, peace.